Hey youth group, Troy here with the Wednesday night short devotion. Tonight we'll kind of make a game and a devotion. I'm going to ask some questions. I want you to leave a comment below the video if you can, or respond on Instagram. It'll be on Instagram and YouTube, so respond in either place. It's kind of a fun question. Actually, there are two questions that I want to ask. And the first question is, what, in your experience, out of all the things in the world that you can think of, what has the best smell or the best aroma that you can possibly think of? Think about that. Leave comments or reply or whatever. The second question is similar. Probably guessed by now, but what is the smell that is the worst smell you can think of? Like the most terrible smell you have ever smelled in your life, in your experience. Not something that you imagine is worse, but you yourself have smelled this smell. So in your life's experience, what is the worst possible smell that you have ever smelled? And then again, the first question was, what is the absolute best smell you have ever smelled? So we'll have like a line here, a continuum. And on this line, way over here, the best smell that you have ever smelled. And over here at the opposite end, the absolute worst smell that you have ever smelled. Now, for me, the worst smell, I'll start with the worst smell. The worst smell, I think, in all my experience, the formaldehyde from high school when we had to dissect frogs, that smell was terribly gross to me. But there is a smell that is worse than that. To me, the absolute worst smell that I can think of that I've ever smelled, and you guys have probably smelled it as well, it's expired milk. If you've ever opened up a carton or a jug of milk that is no longer liquid, it's just solid in there, you can turn it upside down and it just clumps like cottage cheese, and you take the lid off, that's bad. That's real bad. I think every person has probably smelled some sour milk before. See, I won't put it back in the fridge. I'll just put it down in the sink. That's the worst smell I can think of all the smells in my experience, my life, that I have ever smelled. That is the absolute worst smell. So that's the smell all the way over here. Now, what about the really great smell that's way over here? Perfect timing. The best smell I can think of is this. That's my nemesis right there. I love the fresh smell of chocolate chip cookies when they come out of the oven. That is the best smell in the world. And that brings me to our scripture. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2. It's verses 15 through 16. It says, "For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. To the one, we are an aroma that brings death. To the other, an aroma that brings life." Now, Have you ever thought of yourself as an aroma? That you have a smell that attracts people, or a smell that retracts people, that sends people away? When I think of the spoiled milk and the fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, and I equate that with my life as a Christian, if I'm following Jesus and I'm really loving people, my smell is fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. But if I'm claiming Christ, I'm claiming Christianity, and in my actions I'm doing the most un-Christ-like things and living as a hypocrite, tearing others down, not standing up for the injustices in the world and those types of things, then my aroma as a Christian, my fragrance, is like the spoiled milk. So as a Christian, this sounds silly, but I want to smell like a fresh baked cookie. I want my love for Christ to be so apparent in my life that my aroma, my fragrance, my essence testifies to Jesus Christ and the way of Christ. And that's my devotion for tonight. What is your smell? If you're living out your Christian life, are you on this end with the sour milk or whatever your life's experience is the worst thing? Or is it over here with the fresh baked cookies or whatever the best smell is in your life's experience? And I want to encourage you, if you're wherever you are on this spectrum, we can move towards the greater smell. We can make changes in our lives so that we can smell better, that we can do more in this world to bring about Christ's kingdom here on earth. And we do that by loving others, loving God, loving others, the two greatest commandments. That's my devotion for tonight. I love you, youth group. I hope you're enjoying your time at home. I know you're buried in work and Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff, but spring break's coming and eventually we'll all be back together. Love you guys.